Oh, what do we got here? Oh, I know what that is. What do we got in this little bag? Oh, yeah. Let's see what's in there. Oh, hey everybody. How's it going? Yeah, I was just looking at them. I really wasn't trying to find out what was in it. But anyways, I'm glad everybody come back, watch another video. I want to wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. So naturally, you know, I filmed this video days ago so that it would come out on Christmas because it's a Christmas story. Rosie, stay out of it. She likes to give her 2 cents. But if you guys want to hear a story about how me and my brothers learned what Christmas was really about one year, stick through the intro. Let's go.
There I was, back in the wild again.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and thanks for sticking through the intro. So this story's probably not going to be very long. It's a Christmas story, and everybody's going to be pretty busy today anyways, so I'll try to keep it kind of short. This Christmas story is about me and my little brothers. In one year, a family at our church had a fire. Now this fire was about 3 days before Christmas. It could have been 4, I can't remember those kind of details. But it was a few days before Christmas. We was in the van, and I believe we was coming back from church where everyone had been talking about this fire. And this family went to our church. It was a pretty good sized family, 4 or 5 kids. And all their stuff burned up. So right away, naturally, the community got together and started getting stuff for these kids and this family. Well, me and my little brothers, we didn't know anything about that kind of loss, right? We've never experienced anything like that. We understood that, you know, everybody was upset, and, you know, we was thinking, well, that sucks. They're not going to get any presents. And one of us, I can't remember which one, said out loud on the way home from church, well, at least we still have our presents. Man, did my mom come undone. Boy, she started getting on to us and explaining to us what Christmas was all about. And that it wasn't about presents and a Christmas tree, that it was about Jesus and the birth of Jesus. Celebrating his birth. And we still didn't quite understand because we had always related it to presents. Even though we went to church all the time and we knew exactly what the Bible said, and we knew what the preacher said, we knew what everybody said Christmas was all about. But when you're a little kid and all you see is the presents, it's hard to put the two things together. Well, we didn't know it, but it got the gears turning in my mom's head. And she decided she was going to teach me and my brothers a lesson. Now, even though only one of us said it, this was a lesson that she knew we all needed to learn, because we was all thinking it, but we wasn't saying it, right? Just one had to say it. So me and my brothers, we're not thinking nothing about it. We don't, you know, she gets on to us, she explains to us what Christmas is all about. Well, a few days later, when Christmas hit, we get up Christmas morning, me and my brothers, and I know for a fact, Christmas Eve, when we went to bed, we had a lot of presents under the tree. But when we got up that morning, each one of us only had 2 presents. One was a toy, and one was a set of clothes. And that's all we got. My mom had took all of our presents and give them to that family. We was pretty upset about it. So she sat us down after we stopped crying and throwing a fit, and she sat us down and explained to us again what Christmas was all about. Christmas break was over and we went back to school. We didn't have a whole bunch of stuff to show off like we usually did. We didn't have a whole lot of stuff to show everybody or talk about or brag about. But you know what? All them little kids that my mom gave presents to, they all had something to say and they all had something to be grateful for. And they got to show off some toys and they got to be happy after losing everything they had. And I think that's when I realized, was after I got back to school, what Christmas was really all about. You know, it wasn't about how much you got and how much you got to brag about. And it was about helping other people and making other people happy. It's about celebrating the birth of Jesus. You know, it wasn't all bad. She had taught us a very valuable lesson. One that all of us carried on with us for the rest of our lives. We treated people that way from then on. We always looked to help somebody and give whatever we had to somebody else, even if that meant we didn't have anything. It didn't matter to us, because we knew that eventually we was going to get whatever it was we give up, we was going to get it back, and probably even better. Now, you don't do it to look forward to that either, though. It's kind of a tricky situation. But anyway, you just be nice to be nice, and you help people just because it makes you feel good to make them feel good. And that's why you do it. Well, the next year comes around, Christmas, and me and my brothers were really hoping that there wasn't any house fires. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, my mom had saved all year that year because she felt bad about having to teach us that lesson too, and she wanted us to have a really good Christmas the next year. And I don't know if you guys remember, but a lot of y'all probably will remember for sure G.I. Joe, but He-Man. So me and my brothers, we was big into He-Man. We loved watching the He-Man cartoons, and when G.I. Joe showed up, we was all about G.I. Joe. Well, this was the year that G.I. Joe was big. They had started making all the little action figures, and me and my brothers wanted G.I. Joes really bad, like really bad. Well, we wanted He-Man too. And the way we was going to try to work it out with my mom by telling her what we wanted, you know, one of us was going to want He-Man stuff, one of us was going to want G.I. Joe stuff, one of us was going to want a little bit of both, and we was hoping that we'd get like everything for all of it, you know. That's what we was trying to do. Well, my mom, she picked up on that too. And the next year for Christmas, me and my brothers got all of the He-Man action figures with Castle Grayskull and Skeletor's Dungeon, which I can't remember what that was called. Dungeon of Doom or something, I can't remember. But we got both cats. We got He-Man's cat and we got Skeletor's cat. We got all the action figures for He-Man. Everything you could get for He-Man. Me and my 3 brothers, we got it. And bonus, all the G.I. Joes. Every G.I. Joe action figure that was out at the time, any vehicles they came with, all of it. I mean, it was the best Christmas ever. The best. Man, them toys were so cool. We played forever with that stuff. I can remember. But we had to share it. And that's another thing. So not one action figure belonged to one brother. Like, they all belonged to all of us. So we was always having to share. And man, that turned into a couple bloody noses. Black eyes. But we figured it out, and it did teach us how to share. But one thing about it is, you know, we thought it was bad, man. We thought that Christmas was the worst Christmas ever when my mom gave our toys away. But it turned out it was better than the Christmas when we got everything we wanted. Because that Christmas, when she took our toys, that's when we all really realized what Christmas was all about. So I hope everybody out there has a good Christmas today. And remember, no matter what, even if you didn't get what you wanted, somebody did, and be happy for that person. Be happy for whatever you got, because you're blessed to have anything. Some people aren't going to have anything today. So remember, no matter what's going on, don't sweat it. When it gets under your skin, squash it. Pick yourself back up and keep on keeping on. God bless everybody out there. Peace. Merry Christmas. What do you guys think that is? Smart Dad.